How do you help a family member that's suffering? I'm Dr. Anthony Claude. I'm a board-certified psychiatrist, and unfortunately, this happens way too often where a family member is sick, they don't realize they're sick, other people in their life see them suffering and see them ill and want to know what they can do to help. So in your case, as you mentioned, your brother took steroids. Oftentimes people take steroids to help them get strength faster, recover quicker, and there can be side effects with it like aggression, hostility, maybe psychosis, which it sounds like your brother is not able to understand reality that well, which could be from the not sleeping, could be from the steroid itself. What can you do in these situations? Generally speaking, in the United States, you can't really force someone to take medications against their will, except for a few exceptions. And usually these exceptions need a court-ordered mandated treatment over objection. So in the United States, you can admit someone to a psychiatric hospital if they're so aggressive that they threaten to kill others, or if they threaten to kill themselves. They can be admitted to the hospital against their will for safety reasons. And then lastly, is if they're so impaired from their mental illness that they cannot take care of themselves. Now, this will get them into a psychiatric hospital. And in a psychiatric hospital, they'll oftentimes will be offered medications, but they still have the right to refuse. And in the psychiatric hospital, again, it's another court ordered that would be needed. If they're refusing medications, the psychiatrist and treatment team present the need for treatment to a judge, and the judge can order, yes, this person needs to be treated against their will, or they can go home and return to the community without treatment. People in the United States have a right to refuse treatment against their will. So what can family members do? Well, I actually studied about this during my residency program, where I personally had a patient who was depressed, was taking medications only for a little bit while in the psychiatric hospital. They took medications basically to get out of the psychiatric hospital, and they didn't really return to follow up in the treatment. And so I was like, well, what could we have done to help this guy better? And so the best thing is to educate the family about the nature of the condition, educate the patient about the nature of the condition, and just encourage them to take their medications, encourage them to go to treatment, encourage them to go to their appointments as mentioned, and check up on them every once in a while. Maybe call them, send them messages, just let them know that you care. And somehow this helps to get people better. And there's only so much you can really do in these cases. Sometimes it can be very challenging to see someone that you're close with and that you know that's suffering and that's ill, and they don't see the need for treatment or they don't believe it. It's super challenging. It's unfortunately one of the things that we see too often in mental health. So hopefully this helps to provide some insight or some clarity or comfort into what you guys are going through.